Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here or recently new here, my name is Reagan and this is my channel, Rea Rea Reads, and today is a very, very special video. I recently hit 500 subscribers and I wanted to do a 500 subscriber Q&A, so that is what this video is. Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much. Like, I'm overwhelmed with just how thankful and grateful I am that I've reached 500 subscribers. I know it seems like such a small milestone in the greater scheme of things, but it's just really encouraging to me. Reading and making videos is something that I love doing. I love filming, I love editing. I love social media, like I love all of that stuff, and the fact that I get to do it and it's actually growing is so freaking encouraging, and I'm just so thankful for you guys. It really means a lot. It means so much to me. Also, I hit 500 subscribers on my birthday, so like, thank you, you guys. That was so sweet, and that's pretty much all thanks to Jessica from Peace Love Books. She shouted me out on her channel on my birthday, so thanks, Jess, for that. Thank you a million. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much. It makes me so happy that my channel is growing and that I'm able to do things like this because it's growing, and it's just so encouraging and it just makes my heart. So thank you guys. So I asked on my Instagram and Twitter if anyone had any questions for this Q&A, and a good bit of you guys responded with some questions. So I wrote them down and like put some little bullet points right here on my computer next to me so that I am a little prepared to answer those questions. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into the video. Also, please disregard this. I stayed up late last night reading What Lies Between Us for the Summerween readathon, and it's an intense book, and so I was like picking my nail polish off because I was nervous. Anyways, please just disregard how bad this looks. Anyways, moving on. So super quick, these aren't any questions that anyone asked, but I just wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about me super quick. My name is Reagan. I am 21. I go to the University of South Carolina to study elementary education. I am an Enneagram 8 Wing 7. My Myers-Briggs personality test is an ENTP. Yeah. I am Cuban American. My mom was born in the United States and my dad was born in Cuba, so I am half and half. I'm a Virgo, but I don't really like read my horoscope. I don't really like do that. My favorite color is yellow, then green, then pink. A lot of people will say like what Hogwarts house they're in. I am just reading the Harry Potter books and watching the movies for the first time ever, and so I'm recording my experience. If you want to watch, I have reading vlogs for each one and I'll link them down below. But I don't really know much about all of the Hogwarts houses because I'm just reading the book for the first time anyways, so it's all new to me. And so I took the test before I even read the books or watched the movies, so I didn't really know like what some of the questions were asking me, and I think I got Ravenclaw, but I think looking at like each house and how they line up with me, I would either like self-identify myself as, I mean, maybe Ravenclaw, but probably, I don't know, maybe Slytherin, maybe Gryffindor. I feel like people like want to be in Slytherin or Gryffindor, but I don't know, even if you look at my Enneagram type, type 8 is like super bold and like that kind of thing. So that's why I feel like I would line up more with Gryffindor, but I don't know. So I haven't really taken that test yet, but I did take my Patronus test. My Patronus is a mink. I have a brother and a sister-in-law. My brother got married back in October of last year, and yeah. I have a boyfriend named Griffin, and we've been dating for 4.5 years. I work at a church and I'm the kids ministry intern, and I live in a house with 2 girls, Ray and, well, Rea, but she goes by Ray, and Morgan. And lastly, if you're new to my channel, I am primarily a romance reader. That's what I love to read, but recently I've been branching out into different genres like fantasy and thrillers and that kind of thing. But I primarily read romance. All right, let's get started with the first question. The first question is, what is a book that you wish you would have been able to read when you were younger? And this is a really obvious answer for me. I was not allowed to read Harry Potter when I was a kid. My mom was like, oh my god, that's a witchcraft. Like, now she like has read the books and she's like, oh my gosh, Reagan, you need to read them. They're so good. So anyways, I wish that I had read Harry Potter when I was a kid so that it would have just like held a special place in my heart because it's good, but like, I didn't read it when I was a kid, so it's not like amazing. Because I feel like if I was a 5th grader, this book series would have blown my mind. And also, I never read Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and I wish that I read that series because, again, same with Harry Potter, it's very similar. It's that middle grade style, and everyone just loves it. And I know that I can read it now. I actually own the first Percy Jackson book, and I want to get to it eventually, but I'm just like nervous. It's just like not gonna do it for me because it's like for middle schoolers or middle grade, whatever, and I don't know, I'm just nervous. So I wish that I would have been able to read those 2 series when I was in elementary school. The next question is, what's your favorite BIPOC book, and do you consider yourself a diverse reader? So for my favorite BIPOC book, or my favorite book by an author of color, is gonna be Dear Martin by Nick Stone. I loved this book. I read it maybe back in March, and it's really small, so you can fly through it, and like even the text is pretty big, and also it's like $5 on Amazon, so you can go pick this up if you haven't read it. But I was kind of nervous because this is a YA book, and I was like, I don't really know if I want to read like YA. I try to like stay away from YA most of the time because I don't know, I just feel like I don't enjoy YA as much. But this is actually like probably reads more as an adult book, I guess you could say. There's like some language, there's some like heavy themes and that kind of thing. But this was a really, really good. It's about a boy named Justice who basically writes letters to Martin Luther King Jr. and he's just talking about like all the injustice that's going on, and something happens with his friend, and it's crazy. It's really, really good. I would highly recommend picking this one up. Also, an honorable mention has to be Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is probably one of my favorites that I read in 2020, so I had to mention that, throw it out there. And then the second part to that question is, do you consider yourself a diverse reader? And I would say not as much as I would love to be. A lot of times, probably before like this year really, I would just read whatever was like popular, or whatever was just handed to me, or whatever was like, oh my gosh, you need to read this. And I didn't really go out searching for diverse books or books by diverse authors. Back in January, I took a class. It's called Reading Assessment, and it's how to like include reading and writing in your classroom. And we talked a lot about including diverse books in your classroom. And so that's when I really started thinking about it and considering the fact that I really need to be reading more books by diverse authors. But I'm definitely being more intentional about it now because it is a decision you have to make, because a lot of times you'll just be handed books and realize, wow, I've never read a book by an author of color. So it is important to be intentional and be conscious about the fact that you need to be reading those books. With that note, please drop down below any of your favorite book recommendations that are from authors of color. I would love to read some more, and I'm just looking for some good recommendations. Mainly romance, if you can do that. So throw those down in the comments, please. Next question is, what is the story behind your name? There's not really a story. My name is Reagan, and my family called me Rea Rea growing up, so that's pretty much the story. I just thought Rea Rea Reads was gonna be fun. Next question, what is a book you think everyone should read? So for this one, I picked a fiction and a nonfiction. For nonfiction, I said Love Does by Bob Goff. This is a book just about how to like love people better, and the way that Bob Goff writes is just so good, and I'm all about love and just loving each other well, and it's so good. I highly recommend. It really changed my perspective on how I can love people better. And then my fiction book is really for romance readers. If you're not a romance reader, you probably don't want to read this. But it is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This book, you're probably like, wait, what? Why do you think this is a book that everyone should read? And it is because it is very personal to me. I had something happen in my life back in 2018 that really changed my life. It was a really hard time for me, and I picked up this book as a reread, and it literally broke me. The theme of this book is pretty much just about the fact that love is a dangerous game because it can either severely hurt you or it can bring so much joy into your life. And I was on the receiving end of love hurts really bad. And after reading this book, you know, the final theme is that even if the love is ugly and even if it hurts, the joyful side of love is so much more worth it, and it's almost worth it to go through the ugly parts of love to get to the joyful parts. So this book has a great theme in it, but it also has a really good romance, so I would highly recommend this book. Then somebody asked me, do you think you have a book that represents you and your channel? And then they gave some examples like Hannah, a clockwork reader for the Night Circus, or Kayla for Books and Lala, for dress codes for small towns. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I feel like I don't know yet because my channel is still growing and I'm still so small. But I don't know. I feel like if I did come up with something, it would be based off like what you guys think maybe. So comment down below if you think you know a book that would like represent me and my channel. So next up is, what's a trope that absolutely draws you in every single time? And my first absolute favorite trope is marriage of convenience. I don't know why I love that trope so much, but I just really do. I think it's because I get to watch the couple like grow to really like each other and, well, to love each other really. So anyways, I also said forced proximity, enemies to lovers, and bully romances. I like dark romances. I kind of like stuff that's like out of the box a little bit. Obviously between marriage of convenience, forced proximity, enemies to lovers, bully romances, like those are all kind of out of the box. But yeah, my absolute favorite is probably marriage of convenience if it's done well. Next, I was asked who/what is your go-to for romance recs. I primarily watch Booktube for romance recommendations, and I've been getting a little bit off Bookstagram, but mostly from Booktube. I have Lazy Book Lovers, Jess from Peace Love Books, Lovely Like Laura, Chandler Ainsley, Gabby Reads, Riley Marie, Melissa from She's an Open Book, Books with Samantha for historical romances, which I'm trying to get into, so I've been watching some of her books. And lastly, this one's kind of weird, you probably never heard of her, but her name is Makeup and Mary. She is a like makeup and lifestyle channel, but like maybe like 6 or 7 months ago, she posted a video about like some books she was reading and people loved it. So now she posts about all these books that she's reading, and her channel has like slowly morphed into like half Booktube, half lifestyle. So I don't really watch her lifestyle videos, but her Booktube videos are freaking hilarious. She has this really, really cute Australian accent, and she just, the way that she talks is so funny. She feels like an older sister, just like in your bed with you, like having a conversation. I love her. So anyways, please check out all those people. They'll be linked down below. That's usually who I go to for romance recommendations. Next was favorite new author since doing Booktube. And for that, I have to say probably Sarah J Maas. I started reading the A Court of Thorns and Roses series based off of all of the recommendations from Booktube and Bookstagram. And so that's probably one of my favorite new authors because I started Booktube and Bookstagram probably. Oh, I never answered this. Well, the next question is there a book that made you both laugh and cry at the same time? And I forgot to answer this ahead of time, so off the cuff, it's probably a Colleen Hoover book because her books always make me cry, but they're also really funny. And so for this one, I would have to say maybe someday. I'm not gonna get it off my shelf right now, but this is one of my absolute favorites by her. And I think towards the end, I was like bawling my eyes out, but it was such a sweet scene that I wasn't necessarily laughing because it was funny, but it was just like so cute and like kind of funny, and so I was like giggling and like I was smiling really big and like crying at the same time, if that makes any sense. The next question is, how did you and Griffin meet? This is a really good question. So me and Griffin have basically known each other our whole lives. My dad used to have a church, and his cousin would like, their family would come to my church, and me and his cousin Zach like grew up together, and he would bring Griffin to like any of our events or trips and stuff like that. And so every time I saw Griffin, I was like, oh my God, who is that cute boy? And yeah, the rest is pretty much history. I always say that I remember we were at this like kids ministry event, and it was like a lock-in at the church, and Griffin was there, and it was the next morning, and we were eating breakfast, and me and Griffin and Zach were like done getting our stuff packed first, and so we were sitting in a classroom, and I was like across this super long table from Griffin, and he's like over here eating like Fruity Pebbles, and I'm like over here eating my Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I'm just like watching him while I eat my cereal, like, oh my God, that boy is so cute, like I love him, I'm gonna marry him one day. Anyways, really funny story because that was probably like 3rd grade for me, maybe 2nd grade for him. So the fact that I can like remember that is crazy, but we've basically known each other our whole lives. We've basically loved each other our whole lives. We started officially dating when I was a junior in high school and he was a sophomore. Next question is, what do you think about the Booktube community so far? I absolutely love it. It's so encouraging, so sweet. Y'all probably don't know this, but I used to have a YouTube channel that was for like beauty lifestyle videos, and I will link it down below if you want to see some of my old videos, but I started it when I was a freshman in college, so those videos are like sweet memories to me because it was just a great time in my life. When I started that channel, I was like not competing, but I was in such a big pool of like everyone else that it was hard to like get noticed or get seen or really get anyone to watch my videos, because if I posted like a get ready with me video, literally everyone else is posting a get ready with me video. And so I would get like 10 views and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing wrong? So it was really discouraging. But I think I posted my first ever booktube video and got like 30 comments from other booktube channels, and they were just like, oh my gosh, this is so great, keep it up. Like just so much encouragement from the booktube community. And so that has been super sweet. Everyone just like loves each other here, and I kind of am down with it. So I love the booktube community. What's your favorite part of the pandemic? And this is an easy one for me. Definitely not having to leave my house very much. I've been able to read. I am still working and school just started back and I'm going to school now. But back in like May, oh my gosh, I literally did nothing but read and lay out by the pool. Like it was amazing. It was a great time for me. My next question is, who's your favorite roommate? Don't lie. It's you, Morgan. Hi, Morgan. Are all of your classes online for college? The answer is no. Some of them are online and some of them are in class. I am taking 3 methods courses, which methods courses are teaching me how to teach a certain subject. And then I'm doing my student teaching, which is 6 credits. So my first methods course is a math methods course, and that one is online on Monday mornings. And then I have, after that, a social studies methods course in the afternoon on campus. And that was supposed to be in elementary school, but because of COVID, they're trying to limit how much college students can come into elementary schools. So it has been moved on campus. So that's my one on campus class. And then I have another online lecture on Tuesday mornings, and that is my reading methods, but it's called reading assessment. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I have my student teaching. And then next semester will be full student teaching. So you guys might not even know me in the spring, because I'm gonna be at an elementary school from 7:30 to 4 o'clock every day. So that'll be a great time. Okay, we're getting close to the end. I probably would have to say paranormal romance, because a lot of times with fantasy romance, you get like more, it's like 50% fantasy and 50% romance. Whereas paranormal romance is usually like 75% romance and like 25% paranormal. So I probably would have to say paranormal romance on that. And I just finished reading Lover Eternal by J.R. Ward, and it's good. Next question is, who is your favorite Weasley? And that is an easy answer. It is Ron. Mainly because he's freaking sarcastic and I love that, or maybe it's because I have a crush on him. I don't know. Who's your favorite music artist? For this, I just said that's really hard because I listen to a lot of music, but mini plug, my brother is actually a rapper, so insert Adriansings.
Never drop foreign, but I'm in that. Never cross lines, so I lean back. In the drop top in the whip black.
So yeah, Adriansings is my brother, and he makes music and he's really good. So I like listening to his music. I like Need to Breathe. I like the Avett Brothers. I like Ben Platt, Halsey. I like Taylor Swift. I listen to so much music. I don't even have like a super absolute favorite, but I listen to like a lot of genres. So there's that. And last but not least, I have one more question, and that is, what was your first romance book you read? This one was really hard for me to think all the way back to that, but in high school, I was really into reading, and so I read a lot of dystopian. I don't know if that was like what was in when I was in high school, or if that was just because I was in high school and a lot of YA is dystopian, but I read so many dystopian novels, it's not even funny. And that's kind of where I like realized I was liking romance, because a lot of times there's romance in dystopian novels, and it was a great time. So I realized I liked romance. And then going all the way back to like elementary school, I read a book called Princess of the Midnight Ball. I talked about this in my booktube newbie tag, and it was one of my favorites, still holds a special place in my heart. But this is about like this princess, and her like 11 other sisters have to like go every night and dance for this like wicked king in the underworld, because they're like tied to some curse. And this prince like comes and saves them, but he's like not really a prince, I don't think. He's just a guy. But anyways, that book was so sweet, and the romance in that really just, I felt it. But my first like real romance, like probably adult romance is what I would say, is Effortless by S.D. Stevens. I literally was in the library one day. I think I was in like 11th grade, probably way too young to be reading this book. Definitely way too young to be reading this book. But I was looking in the library and there was like a new book section. So I looked through it and I saw this book, and it was like really pretty on the cover. I'm pretty sure there's like a guitar on this like shirtless guy. But anyways, I picked it up and read the back and I was like, oh, that sounds really good. So I checked it out, I went home, read the book, was really confused for the first like 100 pages because little did I know it was the second book in a series and they didn't have the first one at the library. But I figured that out after I read the book that it was the second in the series. So that's why I was really confused. But I ended up going back like maybe a year ago and reading the whole series from start to finish again. And reading the first book was really, really good because I got to see like what was before the second book. I was so confused in the second book. But anyways, this book was really good. It was way too old for me. There was just a lot of explicit things in this book that I was not ready for in 10th or 11th grade. But that was probably my first ever real romance book. Well, that concludes all of the questions for this Q&A. Thank you so much for watching if you made it through to the end of this video. I just want to say thank you again to all of the people who have subscribed and have liked and commented and just supported me in any way possible. You guys really mean the world to me. I am just blown away. I'm just like blown away. I mean, I have no words. I'm just like I'm just overwhelmed with like thankfulness that I get to do something that I absolutely love to do, and it's growing and it's just super encouraging, super awesome. So thank you guys again so much. You mean the world to me. I love you. I can't say anything else or I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. But again, thank you so much for watching. I love all of you guys. Don't forget to check down below for all the extra links to everyone's channel that I mentioned and all my social media and anything else you need is down below. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys. Bye.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something.